Hi, this is Professor CC19, and welcome back to Let's Play Candy Crush. Episode 2, we're picking up right where we left off. Level 20, now we're starting with Lemonade Lake, the third episode in the game, level 21. Before I begin playing, though, a reminder, please go to kingcommunity.com and speak out against the possible change of limiting sugar drops per level to 5. If enough of us voice our opinions, our voices have to be heard. So, unfortunately, it is only me for this video. I don't have Angel here to banter with, and yes, I'm going to use that word as often as I can. Hopefully not too much, though. But yeah, we're going to get started with a little bit of a tutorial about the first real blocker in the game. Again, skipping past the animation, it is Lemonade Lake. And as you can see, I have a ton of boosters. I brought in all my lucky letters, 2 color bombs, 2 wrap, 2 stripe, 3 extra moves, and I also have 6 hours of free color bombs and striped and wrapped from the winning in Popsicle Planet. Plus, I think some of the boosters on this board are natural, the ones down at the bottom. But I have a lot of extra. Now, meringue frosting is this white material, looks like whipped cream, and it is covering over jelly and other squares on the board. We remove it by making a match next to it or hitting it with a special. In the case of double color bomb combo, it's going to remove a layer of everything, so all the meringue frosting is gone. It's going to send off everything else. And we are going to start this video off with a bang. A lot of action, almost all our jelly is gone. And we have another color bomb which we can put to good use. We also have a stripe wrap combo, I'll go for that. And see how well I manage playing and we also have striped candy dispensers, which I completely missed because I am blind. They are on top of the board. They are originally introduced way later, but they will drop in this case, vertical on the sides and horizontal stripes in the middle, just by drawing candy out from underneath. So what I was trying to say is, see how good a job I do at managing banter and playing without Angel. Fortunately, she should be back for episode 3 when we move on to the Chocolate Mountains. But that is a very quick beat down of level 21. These levels have really changed since I started playing years ago, and even since I recorded these levels about 2 years ago, which is why I am recording them again. Like this level, it used to be 2 hazelnuts, and the board used to be different, but now we need to collect hazelnuts and cherries. So I'm just going big everything, big matches. And hopefully that will get these levels done quickly and fulfill my chocolate box request or order, but request sounds nicer, of 330 green, I think, something like that. Trying to draw these ingredients down. And also trying to get off the topic of Candy Crush, because the series was not designed to talk only about the game. It's designed so you can watch the game while enjoying just some fun in other things. The boosters help the fun, but let me think. I'm racking my brain to get off Candy Crush. I feel like this is going to be a lot harder to do without Angel. I don't know a heck of a lot about Pokemon, as may have been evidenced in the first video, but having a second person there makes a wider range of topics to talk about. One thing I guess I should talk about is one thing I never really mention about the game. So yeah, we're collecting 330 green. One thing I never really mention is the factors that go into play in luck-based levels. And I always call it strategy-based and luck-based, but really there's one factor that I don't talk about enough, and I really should. It's timing. And timing is kind of a combination of luck and strategy. Sometimes, wow, we have a lot of color bombs on this board. Sometimes you have a lucky board but you can make bad matches and it ruins the lucky board. So what exactly does that mean? Does it mean it wasn't lucky? Does it mean you have bad strategy? Or kind of a combination of both? And what I call that is timing. Sometimes you make what you think are the right moves in this game, and they may be, but at the wrong time they can mess things up. Let me see if I can find an example. Right now I have a potential for a wrapped candy with the orange. I also have a color bomb over here. It could be a striped candy with the orange and stuff up above. If I was trying to clear this jelly on my last turn, or I had 2 turns left, and I thought wrapped candy is better, typically it is. Typically that's a good strategy. However, with the positioning and timing, if I were to make a wrapped candy, it would, I think, ruin my opportunity to clear that last jelly because the red would go in a different alignment. Now, this might not be the best board because I still can do that, but something of the like, where the positioning, your strategy might be sound, but in that situation, something different was called for in that time. And I feel like luck can contribute to that, but it is mostly strategy when you're watching the board. Luck can come into play with what's coming down from the top, but I guess I should call it a balance of timing is what is really required on some of these levels. Now, I don't know how interesting this is, but really, timing coming. Why won't anything happen on the bottom? There it goes. But really, timing comes into play in a lot of scenarios. And as humans, we are very intelligent. We're an intelligent species. But when it comes to timing, we're not so great. I mean, not just Candy Crush, but when it comes to timing, there's a lot of decisions that we can make that maybe make sense in the moment, but a lot of the time we have trouble thinking about what happens later. And sometimes just waiting is the better move. One thing I didn't really talk about last time, because I wanted to keep these videos light, we talked about the Super Bowl, but the helicopter crash with Kobe Bryant. And one thing I think about with that is patience and timing. The helicopter was in a fog. It took off in foggy conditions. And if you think about it, if they had waited for the fog to clear, they likely would have all been alive. So maybe a lack of judgment, maybe just bad timing, whatever you would call it, but making better decisions when it comes to timing, I think, specifically that, would save us a lot of problems. What else is going on? I don't know. Timing can come into play, or at least decision making, but yeah. The jalapeno politics that I discussed last time as I coined that term, so eloquently or not. The State of the Union was the day of our last episode, and it was indeed jalapeno politics. I'm not going to comment too much. The debates a couple nights ago, I would say that's borderline jalapeno, but they're all technically on the same side, so not as much. But when it comes to timing, I think the one thing that's frustrating about politics is you can never really say what you are thinking. Especially with the candidates, the one thing I noticed is the things that they say have to sound good. If they say maybe what they're thinking or something that's truly honest, it may not be, it may be better, but it won't sound great. And I don't know if that's timing as much, but it just doesn't seem to make sense to me. I feel like regarding honesty, there's not a heck of a lot of that when it comes to Washington. And maybe that's another fatal flaw that all of us are kind of working on, hopefully. But what I noticed the other night is when answering questions, like questions that are very confrontational, maybe being honest is a better policy, presenting things more direct rather than trying to dance around something. I guess you can consider it in Candy Crush terms like a ranged attack. they're trying to get back to the issue. Like, the one candidate always links everything back to climate change. Again, not going to comment on that, but it is a job of finesse. I will say that some of them have to a certain extreme, but I wish that some of them didn't use it as much. Sometimes being more direct, I think, would be helpful, and it would answer questions in a way that's easier to understand. All right. On to level 26. We're already 5 levels in. Things are going very smoothly. Look at all these hazelnuts. I'm going to do something wild and wacky as this level is. This level is really, really different than it used to be. I think this is one of the biggest changes. And also the fact that this is the very first 3-color board in Candy Crush Saga now. It used to be just a few levels ahead at 31. Now it's 26. And this one is going to be a really high scorer. Just need to take out green. We beat the level. The cutouts are our only real blockers now. This board should go on for a little while. I might skip past it. But what else is happening? I want to bring things to a lighter note. I don't want to talk about things that are serious too much. Although, like I said before, I do enjoy politics to a certain extent. We talked about food last time. What did we leave off at? We talked about our favorite food, pizza. One thing actually that didn't go on as long as I thought. The one thing I didn't mention is the contrast between eating at home and eating out. Oh, this is a points level. Oh, so we have to use all our moves here. Let's just take out a layer of everything. That's a good start. And then we have 4 colors. We already have almost all our points. That's pretty cool. But yeah, the difference between eating at home and eating out. Now, there's always the healthier option, which is eating at home. And that could be a more emotionally, I might say, sound option also. Better atmosphere, maybe cleaner. But when you want to just kind of splurge, which I tend to want to do a lot, there is always the fun option, which is eat out. And that is really where a lot of my favorite food stems from. Like I said last time, my favorite food is pizza. However, to eat out, there are a lot of contenders for my favorite restaurant. And since I don't like to choose things unless I absolutely have to, what I do say is, if I have $5 and I want to get something I really like, I'll go to, again, nothing is sponsored. I'm just giving my opinion. If I think they're good, of course I'm going to talk about it. If I have $5 and I want something really good that I like, I go to Wendy's and get their 4 for $4. Spicy nuggets, I love spicy nuggets. If I have $10 and I want something really good to eat, I'll go to Subway. That's a little lighter. I don't feel, I don't want to say guilty because I don't really feel guilty otherwise, but you can feel a little bit better about a submarine sandwich depending on what you put on it. But so I only feel half like I'm eating out. Otherwise, it's just like I'm going to a deli or I'm making a sandwich at home. I like that. And if I have $20 and want to just meal for myself that I really like, I will go to Cracker Barrel. That is probably the best place for a homey feel. I love the gift shop there. It just feels like you went back in time, and it's cool because I'm young, but I still like classic stuff, like older movies, classic shows. But yeah, the feel at Cracker Barrel is amazing. Plus, I do really like their food, especially breakfast. French toast is probably my favorite breakfast, right up there with pizza for dinner. I don't think I could have... See, that's the thing. I couldn't have pizza for breakfast, I don't think, but I could have French toast for dinner. So maybe French toast should be my favorite food. I don't know. But interestingly, the day that we recorded about the first episode where I was talking about my favorite food being pizza, I saw an experiment regarding economics where supply and demand, the price point, as the price of something goes up, the demand kind of goes down. How many slices of pizza would I order if they were free for an entire week? Pizza wasn't the only thing I could eat, but it could if I wanted it to be. But how many would I order if it's free? All of it being my favorite. How much would I order if it was 50 cents, $1, $2, $3, $5? And even though it's my favorite food, I did not order any at $5 for one slice. But for the week, I did order 28 slices for free. That would be 4 a day. And I figured 2 for lunch, 2 for dinner. That means other than breakfast, I could technically eat pizza for every meal for a week. And I think I'd still be happy. And this is yet another level that is very odd. This video should probably be shorter because these levels are going very quickly, and I'm only doing 15 instead of 20. Not as much transition time. I'm just going to go as fast as possible. And let's see. Actually, this one I might need to think because this board isn't the best. Let's see here. We still have some double jelly in really odd places. So I'm actually going to turn my attention to CCS, which with the lingo is Candy Crush Saga. And try and get these isolated areas, which are actually tougher than I thought. Would like to get purple. Not there. There we go with the green. That worked. Come on, line up with the purple. There we go. Color bomb. Take out all blue. That is beautiful. And I think that'll do it for us. There we go. All right, so our first bit of thought, these levels will only get harder. Not too hard yet. But some of these will be a little trickier. And I guess one other thing I should talk about, I don't know how many of you have seen the Marble Insider series. As I said, I'll be throwing out links. I will create a playlist for the Marble Insider and throw that link in the description. Basically, it's analysis of marble races on Jelly's marble runs with real marbles, the inspiration for the Alg Olympics. The new series, Marbula 1, I did predictions for. I had a false perception that it was a strictly sand event. However, it is on an inside track or course, premiering February 15th. Go check it out. But the predictions are still sound because sand racing is actually the closest to what it's going to be. So my predictions are staying the same, but my perception is now corrected. It isn't a strictly sand race series. Some of my favorite teams are in it. My favorite team isn't, unfortunately. But something to be looking forward to, a brand new racing series starting the day after Valentine's Day. Which brings me to Valentine's Day, something else light I could talk about. Which I'm thinking about what to talk about now. See, Valentine's Day isn't a huge holiday for me. I think the biggest holiday season for me is Thanksgiving and Christmas. I haven't ever really been that big of a fan of Halloween. I know. Sorry. I know it's so popular. It's just not for me. I don't like horror. Although sometimes my mind kind of wanders to what it would be like to the people writing the horror novels. Like, what goes through Stephen King's mind when writing these kind of books, or those kind of books? That's kind of a daunting thought, kind of a scary thought to think about. But yeah, other than that, I don't really like horror. Not my cup of tea, just like different kinds of music. But that's why there's an entire library, just like there's the YouTube audio library, where you can find the kind of music that suits you. This one's actually rated as a nightmarishly hard level. Only 3 colors, so I don't know why. We're already down to that last jelly way up here. These little isolated fingers. But yeah, Valentine's Day isn't huge for me and my family. Although chocolate is nice. And the flower, well, sometimes we do flowers, but usually just like chocolate cards, that kind of thing. Sometimes I feel it's better to do things from scratch, like making a card. Like, that's more heartfelt, also more, I would say, budget friendly. Not to be cheap, but it really can be more heartfelt. But yeah, something I've noticed over the years is writing can be difficult, but somehow it always winds up being kind of easy for me. And I don't mean that it's easy, but I have a lot of thoughts in my head, as you can tell from me talking. But the thing for me is, how do I write those thoughts down in grammatically correct sentences? Because really, the thoughts in my brain are just that. They're thoughts. They are kind of all over the place. And then I have to, when writing, transfer them to a sentence with a subject and a predicate and something that's quote unquote proper. I don't know how much it still is of that, but maybe that's why I like poetry more, because you have a little bit more freedom in the range and style which you write. Speaking of poetry, there will be a new Professor's Poetry coming pretty soon, as I have to remember to go back and retitle the old videos to put the title of the poem first. But yeah, I'm excited to be writing a new poem for Professor's Poetry. This one should be interesting because it kind of branches off into something that was really popular last year and is one of my biggest interests / hobbies. But yeah, new episode of Professor's Poetry coming pretty soon. Something else I guess I should say is the scheduling. I haven't been as active recently. I know I am putting out more episodes of this series, which I hope will suffice, but I haven't really gotten a heck of a lot of time to do the audio walkthroughs. I put out 415 and 416 the other day with music. I am exploring a lot of songs with the YTAL YouTube audio library, and it's making it really helpful in making these videos without commentary a bit more enjoyable. By the way, if you are stuck on a level and see my videos without commentary, always look for the highlight, the finger highlight. So right now, I'm touching by the 34 and I'm circling it. We have 34 moves. I would highlight what boosters would be best, that kind of thing, if I can't speak during the level. And this one, once again, those boosters making it really easy. 34 and 35, the only two levels still to go. I just now realized that there's another jelly over here. And now it's gone. Alright, so I think I've exhausted my topics. And the timing, which I was talking about earlier, isn't that great, because I still have 2 levels to get through. I don't know. Is there anything else about timing? One thing I do enjoy is comedic timing. I don't know how many of you watch America's Got Talent, but my favorite thing on America's Got Talent is watching comedians. It surprises me that the singers on that show are better than most of the people that today are turned stars. The people that are getting the awards, like the Grammys and no, not that. The music awards. There we go. Not Grammy, Tony, Oscar. I don't know about that. I know the Oscars were just last night, though. Did not watch them. Yeah. But yeah, the people on America's Got Talent who sing, I would say, are probably a lot better than some of the professional musicians I see, which is kind of sad because only one person can win the show. And it's almost turned into a competition of who has the story that the most people will vote for. The story, not necessarily the talent. But yeah, some people very talented on there. But I always do enjoy the comedians, and comedic timing is something I always have admired. I have attempted it myself, but that's why most of my videos are more serious. I'm trying to keep it light here, but as you can tell, it is not as good without Angel. So I am summoning her back for episode 3, which will be coming, I would say, soon. I'm not going to say very or relatively, but one thing that is coming soon is the end of this video, which you may be happy or sad about, but the reality of it is it's here. That is the last jelly, and that is Lemonade Lake. And I am knocking things over behind me. So anyway, that is it for episode 2 of Let's Play Candy Crush. That is the next set of 15 levels dealing with stripe dispensers, wrap dispensers, some really unusual changed levels, and meringue frosting. Now, episode 3, like I said, Angel will be back, and hopefully my voice will be higher pitched. I don't know why it's been so low today. And we'll have more to talk about, maybe more things interesting, a wider range of topics. It is really enjoyable to have her. Anyway, if you found this video helpful or enjoyable, I hope you did. Please subscribe if you want to see more videos. That's what it is. Please subscribe. And also, if you're stuck on any level and you want me to do a serious walkthrough without all these boosters to make it really easy, the difficulty that you're facing, please leave a comment below. I will try and help you with a special dedication video. As always, thanks so much for watching. Have a great day. I'll see you next time.